Okay. All right, let's move straight to, well said, let's move straight to our third conversation. We're having some cheering news from the oil sector. It goes like this, that Nigeria has retained its position as Africa's largest oil producer. In its latest monthly oil market report, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, said the country's oil output increased to 1.48 million barrels per day in November from 1.33 million barrels per day in October. OPEC said the 1.33 million barrels per day was Africa's largest in October. In November, Algeria was rated second with 908,000 barrels per day, followed by Congo with an output of 268,000 barrels per day. Okay, Tunde Abaton, judging by how Nigeria struggled to meet its OPEC quota, is this good news?
Well, it is good news, and we got the result probably because of the increased sensitivity about the government to the activities at the oil producing area in terms of security.
Oil theft and all?
If oil theft is curbed, naturally, Nigeria is the only country that I know that nobody, no minister or MD of NNPC can come out and tell Nigerians how much we are producing per day. Because the quantum of oil that is stolen, of crude that is stolen, nobody is able to keep track of it. Unlike some other countries out there, they keep track of it. I'm not saying we can eliminate theft completely, but when we reduce it to the barest minimum, it will now help us to meet the OPEC quota. Okay. But meeting the OPEC quota is a plus for Nigeria. But another thing, the problem is that, yes, we are now making more money. We are making more money courtesy of the rise of the crisis in the Gulf, crisis in the Middle East. But I pray that as we are making the money and the royalties are being paid to the federal government, because actually it's royalty that we are collecting, and as the federal government is disbursing this money through FAC every month, let other governments, state governments, local governments, allow the people to know the effect that Nigeria is now making more money. Thank God that we used to service our debt with 97% of what we were making before May, up to May last year. But now it has been reduced to 65%,
65, yes.
Which is still high. It's still high, which means the 28% increase should be used to generate the economy. All the governors should use the money to revolve the economy, because that is when the ordinary man, all these students we are talking about, it does not make anything to them. So why it doesn't go down to the ordinary man in the street? Exactly. That's why I always appeal to governors and local governments to allow this money that they are collecting from the federal government to flow down to the masses. They should do programs that will allow the money to flow the masses rather than doing programs that will encourage capital flight. Because most of them are building airports now. And when you see components of airport building, besides the bitumen that they are going to use, 80% are probably money that is taken away. So because these are the indices that will help the local economy. Because if the local economy, no matter how the president can try, people have to know that it is not the president, it is the governors and local governments that are driving the economy. They are the ones driving the SMEs.
Exactly.
The president is not even supposed to know about the price of foodstuff. Let the governors put on the act. So that this money that we are making now, because we are getting more money into the federation account, the bottom line is that Nigerians have to feel it. True. It is a very good news for Nigeria. But are Nigerians feeling it? It is those people in government at all levels that will allow this money that is being disbursed to go down into the people, to do SMEs that will touch the people. I would say what do they call it? The local economy.
Okay, but Kaidi, can we say that the marching order given by the president talking about stopping all theft is actually yielding results?
You see, sorry, I just want to do a playback. Okay. You know, when you said cheering news, I almost looked at it that, do I agree with you? Because, you know,
judging by...
I agree with you, but why it's not cheering to me is the fact that what is the translation to everyday man, like you mentioned?
Okay.
What is this huge figures largest economy. And I was forced to read about Nigeria again. Why are we so blessed? Do you understand? This is like the only, if you look at the oil-producing countries, you know, we are just like the only in West Africa. You understand? Ghana will tell you oil producing, whatever figures they have. But we're so blessed that even neighboring countries don't have what we have. And why are they
able to maintain
looking better than us? It's a serious concern for me. What are we doing with this beautiful story that we have just read? 1.4 at a time it was so bad that it was less than 1 million per barrel. So whatever the president has done needs to be consolidated. We need to give account of these beautiful numbers. They are even shooting, I think there was a time they even achieved 1.8. Thereabouts.
We're still thinking of maybe going to like 2.1.
That was the target for this year.
So these figures will only make sense, not just to man on the street. So all of us, when we see these things being translated to the SMEs and to everyone, we can say, now we're even talking of this crude, we're talking of refineries, we're talking of these things being produced here. That we are not going to use the crazy exchange rate to do it and export it here, and we are dealing with the total production is almost more than 1,000 naira. So for me, I think what will make Nigeria happy with this news is how do we take advantage of this? I remember people celebrating Jonathan that he enjoyed. Oh, there was, Nigeria was making it.
I think it was $100
per barrel. Now we are getting close, and there's a whole lot of discipline that is being, churned out by this government. But we must see it translated. We should not allow some individuals to mortgage the system, to corner it, to go into capital flight. Let's do things. I'm sorry to say this. It's not a popular opinion. What is the benefit of airports? Even here in Lagos, I can tell you that nothing less than 90% of people living in Lagos have never entered plane. So whose interests are you pushing? I'm not saying you shouldn't be in some
rural
areas, but fix the road, fix those things that affect them every now and then.
Even with the many airports that we have around the country, how many of them are profitable?
Probably Lagos, Calabar,
maybe 2 or 3.
You understand? So we don't have to be too elitist. We don't have to be like, oh, there are about 5 airports in New York, and therefore in Lagos we should have in Lekki. I agree, Lagos is cool to have such things. But excuse me, sir, people need to eat. People need to feed before we can talk of people who can always afford flights and they are not bothered about what happens on the road.
Exactly. Now let's look at oil theft. Can we say political will, using technology, the sincerity of the NNPC, and also going after those who collaborate with the IOCs, putting to steal our crude, putting all of this together, do you think is enough to end crude oil theft in Nigeria? All of these factors.
Well, I think, like you said, the biggest factor is the political willingness of the leadership. And if between May last year, May 29 last year, and now, we have increased our production to 900,000 barrels per day, those people who are stealing oil, they are not ghosts.
True, they are not ghosts.
So it's a combination of a lot of things, both the military, both the civil populace, both the cabals.
We also have Tantita doing
and
something.
not only don't limit to NNPC alone, because when you mention IOCs, yes, non-IOC will not steal oil, but
there are some that are collaborating with them.
Collaborating with the one that will steal oil. They can only achieve this thing by using our people. It's not possible for anybody to come from the moon and steal Nigeria's oil. So the efforts of all these things together, when Nigeria decide that, look, we want to protect our own, we are going to do it. Both the military, both the local people, and some others. Anyway, if the money that is being sent to the areas through the derivation is not being used to take care of the people in the rural communities, there's no way you can stop oil theft.
The 13% derivation.
You cannot stop oil theft.
So that I don't also dodge, it doesn't look as if I dodge your question. Based on what he said. I agree that, and in my view, sorry, it might be very pedestrian, I like the fact that oil theft has reduced as much as it should be on zero level. But practically, it has reduced. And I think the approach of the president with former militants is working well.
Well, it's working well.
However, whether the military is culpable or not culpable, the most important thing is the political will to deal with
this
anybody caught in that kind of sharp practices.
Yeah.
It's something that the president must push further. Let's see them being paraded. Let's see them be disgraced.
Exactly.
And we cannot say that they are not guilty.
Exactly.
And let those people who are collecting the revision every month translate the money into taking care of those people on whose
they should be accountable,
so that they will not be tempted to collaborate with those people who are stealing crude. Because it is either way. If you cannot take care of their community, if they can collaborate, they will develop their own. They will bring their own borehole. Exactly. There are some areas in the south, there's no water. Exactly. You cannot farm. And somebody will come with $10,000 and you are speaking grammar to him.
Yeah, especially in areas like Ogoni, we see they can't
you
farm,
have to
they
take care
can't
of
fish
those local
anymore.
people. Let the revision 13% that people are collecting.
Yes.
Let it reflect not only on oil, on other mineral resources that we have in Nigeria, limestone, everything.
Yes. I appreciate you, gentlemen. Yep. Thank you so much. I've been speaking with Kaide Ladebe. Thank you very much for having us.
Always a pleasure.
Sonia Abaton, thank you very much. Also, during the show, we had a conversation with Dr. Kalijai Adeboye Paul, PhD. We also had that conversation. Thank you so much for making the show beautiful. And also to the gentlemen, the PCR and MCR, for pressing the buttons appropriately. Thank you very much.
Gentlemen.
There are no ladies in the media.
And that's it on Journalist Hangouts today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. And you can also join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangouts on Sunday. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now. God bless Nigeria.